anybody want a beer? I'm Thomas McClelland from Whirlwind Studios. And today, my fellow rock and rollers, today I'm here to talk about a very underrated classic from the Great White North. A film about light, dark, science fiction, fantasy, and pure, unadulterated rock and roll. Today, we speak, of course, of rock and roll. Oh yeah. So, allow me to elaborate on a tale as old as time. A tale of art and corporate greed. This is the tale of a studio called Nevada. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. Correct me later. This little company from Canada was known for making very indie, well, they're mostly known for making cartoons. For example, did you know that they got their start making cartoons for the Star Wars Holiday Special? Let that sink in for a minute. Actually, to be fair, that's the only good part in that movie, pretty much. Yeah. But besides that, they were known for making very experimental, kind of avant-garde-ish cartoons that speaks to the inner rocker inside. There was even suggestions that they were at first going to be contacted to help make heavy metal. Yes, that heavy metal. But let's leave that aside. One of their big things that got them recognized was a film about the devil and a mouse. But that's besides the point. I only brought it up for one good reason. It shares a lot of similarities with today's story, which is also basically the same concept. You know how it is. Boy meets girl, girl falls in love with boy and girl start band doesn't do so well, so they sell their soul to the devil, or devil-ish character, and girl gets fame, boy gets left behind, boy saves girl, girl saves boy, they save the world. You know, that old chestnut. But besides all that, let's get into it. It's set in a post-apocalyptic United States. Cold War is finally heated over. All of humanity is gone, save for a few animals that have evolved and mutated into the new dominant species. And no, I'm not talking about furries. I'm talking mostly mice, cats, and dogs, pretty much. You know, that thing. Also, magic is a thing, apparently. Because there's portals to other realms, pretty much. And all that. But we'll get into that later. We meet our gang of, our band. There's 3 dudes and 1 chick. I think 2 of the dudes, you can skip them, they're just the comic relief character. We can mostly focus on Crystal and Omar. Now, in the original Canadian version, Omar was voiced by this one actor who was pretty okay. But in the American version, he's voiced by a completely different actor, and he makes him very, very, very unlikable. See, that's the main problem with this one movie. Lots of tampering from Columbia, pretty much. We got tampering from the voices, they cut scenes out, and they barely promoted it at all. So it was screwed over on release. So I'm gonna give it its just desserts right here. Then we get Crystal. I don't know who does the voice, but I know who does the singing voice. It's Debbie Harry from Blondie. Oh, by the way, that's another big point with this movie. It has the singing talents of Blondie, Cheap Trick, Iggy Pop, and Earth, Wind, and Fire singing in here. Which, to any self-proclaimed rock and roller, is the bomb. Yeah. So, we get all that. We get the setup. Then we meet our bad guy for the thing. And let me tell you, he's got one hell of an entrance. It begins with a single beam of light. It takes form, and out appears a tall, well-groomed man who looks like a cross between Prince, David Bowie, and Mick Jagger's lips. And he simply goes by the majestical name of Mock. Apparently his full name is Mock Swagger or Jagger or something like that. That explains the big lips kind of thing going on. And I gotta admit, seeing him, it's like a cross between Frankenfurter and Jarrett from The Labyrinth, pretty much. Because, honestly, Mock's one of the most underrated villains in my opinion. He's got so much style, charisma, and he's got the singing talent of both Cheap Trick and Iggy Pop going on. And honestly, he's got some of the best songs in there. Some of the best villain songs in there. I will admit though, he comes on a little too strong on Crystal. Like he's trying to trick her to join his band because he needs her voice to open the dimension for the being to come through, the being of immense power. But if you're gonna try and convince someone, dude, you need to be a little more sly and charismatic. You need to really convince her to join the dark side. You're laying it on a teensy bit thick there, old buddy. And his henchmen are hit or miss. It's basically the Three Stooges, plus a girl, with the most Harley Quinn accent you can ever imagine.
You know what I'm talking about? They talk like this, that kind of thing going on.
Pretty much. But hey, at least we get some good nice panty shots from her. Oh, by the way, if you're expecting this cartoon to be for kids, no, it is not. It is not for kids. It is the farthest thing for children. I mean, it doesn't go too gratuitous like a Ralph Bakshi film per se, but it's pretty close there. We got, let's see, violence, some minor swearing here and there, lots of very attractive ladies, if you know what I mean. And hey, we even got a club called 666, as any self-promoted rocker must do. Hail Satan, y'all. Anyway, so the story element is a bit basic, but hey, at least we got a pretty cool setting. It's kind of like Mad Max meets Blade Runner, pretty much. Especially when we get to Nuke York. It's a pun. And also Old Town. I'm like, wait, Old Town? Didn't Frank Miller make you? Well, different comic anyways. But it's kind of cool. We get a mishmash of both sci-fi and fantasy all mashed together. And that particularly happens near the ending. The ending is, honestly, not that bad. I like it. It's a nice good climax. Picture it. Crystal is hung up to a giant sort of mechanical thing, like Fay Ray from King Kong, but a little more skimpy, pretty much. We got Mock. He's got his electro Casio guitar looking thing and doing music. Then this being comes out of nowhere from an Iggy Pop song. This being of immense darkness and power, and eats a few people. Then Omar comes in swinging with his guitar like a battle axe, and runs his forth to the beast, only to be immediately smacked away. And then, when all hope is lost, Crystal knows what she must do. The only thing to defeat the beast is the perfect voice. Combine. This voice is not one. It's not two. It's one and the same. Two people joined together. One voice, one heart, one soul. Or as I call it, a pretty catchy duet. And hey, why not? It's Lou Reed and Debbie Harry doing a little duet together, and I say, bring it on. So like I say, maybe this film is kind of basic, but it makes it up with good atmosphere, great music, and a hell of an interesting setting and characters, pretty much. But having said that, I do have some problems with this movie. It can get a little basic at times, but that might have something to do with the real problem with this film. The studio interference from Columbia. Now, the company that was making this, they were just the guys that made this. They had almost no control over it because they needed someone to distribute this. So they needed a bigger company, so that's where they contacted Columbia. And they helped ship it off mostly in America and Canada, where it got pretty big cult following in Canada, actually. And unfortunately, the studio interfered with cutting key scenes out and replacing it with their own stuff. So for the longest time, it was hard to get a good original copy, the original Canadian copy, not the crappy American one we got pretty much. Until recently. There was this one guy, he managed to finally get the whole uncut Canadian copy and get it back to normal. And all I can say is, thank you, my dude. You've done your part for cinema. So, overall, what do we learn here today? In order to be a true vision of art, you must be careful with who you make your deals with. Because who knows, you might end up getting a perfect piece of art, or you're gonna get screwed over immensely, pretty much. And I actually like the film. I really do. So if you can, guys, go watch Rock and Rule. It's on YouTube for free, the whole thing, so go watch it right now. And tell me what you guys thought about it. Until then, it's time to give my final thing. The film is a good, underrated classic that I think most people should watch. It can get a little basic, and some of the more avant-garde areas can get a little drawn out, but overall it makes it up with everything that I ever wanted in a rock spectacular like this. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, pretty much. So, that's it. Gotta keep on rocking in the free world, right? In the meantime, here's what you can do to help out. You can like and subscribe this film. Don't forget hit the bell for notification. And don't forget to share this with your friends. If you want, there's more videos for you to watch in our channel, and also on our other channel, which is at Silversmith Productions. And if you guys want, you can also leave some comments. Maybe tell me what you guys thought about Rock and Roll in the comments, or any other films that we should look at. And other than that, I gotta keep on rocking somewhere else. I suggest you do the same. Yeah. Let's do this. And if you need to get in contact, you can get in contact with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Keep on rocking, my friends.